Hello guys, Chidaro Nyelim here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Chiyelim Stitches. Thank you for all the love and support. So today I'll be showing you how I made this KAFTAN BUBU lace gown with built up neckline and shoulder pleats. So I used 6 yards of lace here. If you find this video helpful and interesting, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. The first thing I'm going to do is to add the vertical measurement, that is from the shoulder to bust measurement, the shoulder to under bust measurement, the shoulder to waist measurement, and from the waistline I'll come down by 10 inches for the hip line. Then I'm going to mark out my points and label each line. Then the next thing I did was to mark 3 inches for my neck width, and then I added my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I also added 6 inches for my shoulder plates, which when I fold into 2 it will become 3 inches. Then I came down by 1 inch from that point for my shoulder slant and joined it with the neck width point. Then next thing I did is to mark my armhole depth, and to get that you just divide your bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inch to what you got, and this is what I marked here. And you can also call that line your chest line. Then to make your armhole curve, first mark your bust measurement divided by 4 at the chest line, and then the armhole depth you divide it by 2, and at that point you come in by half an inch, and then you join those points to the shoulder point using a curve rule, just like you see me doing in the video. And this is how you make your armhole curve. Then the next thing I did was to add my horizontal measurement plus the 6 inches we need for the pleat. So that is your bust measurement divided by 4 plus the 6 inches, your waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 6 inches, your hip measurement divided by 4 plus the 6 inches, and the hip measurement is what we are going to use to mark out the remaining parts of the gown. Then I'm going to use a stretch rule to join my points, just like you see me doing. Then I added 1.5 inch sewing allowance all through the gown. You can add as much allowance as you want, but minimum of 1 inch sewing allowance and maximum of 3 to 3.5 inches sewing allowance. Then I joined this with my stretch rule once again. Then the next thing I did was to add my neck depth. For the back I came down by 1 inch and joined it with a curve rule to the neck width, and for the front piece I joined the neck width to the bust point, just like you see me doing with a stretch rule. Then I cut out my pattern, I labeled them. Then I'm going to use this pattern as a template to cut out my fabric. I will be cutting both of them together just to make my work easier, but before I cut the neckline, I first separated the back piece from the front piece before cutting the neckline. Then the next thing I did was to cut out the sleeves, and to do that I need to get my cap height and my cap's depth. And to get the cap's height, I just divided my bust measurement by 12 inches and added 0.5 inch to that. And for the cap depth, you can just measure your armhole just like you see me doing in the video, or you can just divide your bust measurement by 4 and add 0.5 inch to that. Then the next thing I did was to fold my pattern into 2. Then I added my cap's depth measurement, which I got 5.5 inches for mine. Then I joined that with a stretch rule. Then I added my cap's height measurement, which I forgot to record, and I joined the points to the center, just like you see me doing in the video. Then the next thing I did was to measure that line and get the center. Then from that center I came up by half an inch and used a curve rule to join the points, just like you see me doing, and this is for the back side of the sleeve. Then for the front side, I divided each of that center point, which I called point P, into two, and at each center I came up by half an inch on one side and came down by half an inch on the other side, and I joined those points with a curve row to create the front side of the sleeve. Then the next thing I did was to add my hand circumference or arm circumference. So you will notice that I didn't add any sleeve length. That is because I just have a small fabric remaining, and that can serve as my sleeve. So the next thing I did was to cut out the pattern for my sleeves. I first cut out the back side of my sleeve, then I separated the pattern into two to cut out the front part. Then I used that pattern to cut out my sleeve. I first cut out the back part of the sleeve. Then I determined the side I wanted to be at the front side of each sleeve so that I will cut off the excess. Then the next thing is for me to start sewing. The first thing I did was to place my fabric right side facing each other and join the shoulders with half an inch sewing allowance. Then to make the shoulder pleat, I came in by 5 inch from the mid center. That is the nipple to nipple measurements. That was what I did here. 5 inch divided by 2. The nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. That was what I did here. Then from that point, I marked out 3 inches and then folded in another 3 inches. Also, you can just get the center of your shoulder measurement, divide it, fold it into 2, and mark out 3 inches from each side. Then I'll make a stretch stitch down to join the 3 inches. I'll do the same thing for both sides, for the front and back. Then the next thing I did was to place my horizontal measurement by dividing my bust, waist and hip measurement divided by 2 and mark that. Then at the hem, I came up by 2 inches for the hemming allowance. Then from that point, I came up by 12 inches for the side slit. Then after I've shaped my dress, I folded in the slit just like you see me doing in the video. I first folded it by half an inch, then then again by half an inch. Then I sewed that down to the hem. Then I did the same thing for the other side. The last thing I did was to add the built-up neckline. I folded my fabric into 2 vertically and then folded it again horizontally. Then I marked out a width of 4 inches and a length of 20 inches, but I later reduced it to 16 inches because I realized it was too long for what I wanted to do. Then from the closed end, I made a triangular cut down to the open end just like you see me doing in the video. Then the next thing I did was to open that up and come up by 3 inches from the open end. Then I stitched that down at the middle. Then when you fold it to the front, this is what you're going to have. I ironed that very well to make it look neat. Then to attach it to your fabric, just fold it into 2 and make a notch at the middle. Then attach the center point with notch to the center point of your neckline, and just like you see me doing in the video. Then I secured it round with a pin, and while I stitch it down, I started from the middle and then stitch down one side and the other side. Then I will iron everything very well. In my next video, I'll be showing you how I attach the side pockets. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe to my channel, Chi Lim Stitches. See you in the next one. Bye.